Hi everybody, it's Nikki and I'm here to do a video that's my personal experience, not to be used as medical advice. I'm going to do a really fast one because I'm going to go put all my stuff away. Today's day 9 in auto mode. It was okay. It was, not bad. Also not great as far as 2 periods where my blood sugar started to get, that's my mom. Sorry, Mom. The blood sugar started to get away from me. The first period, what I did do was exercise, which is the same thing I did yesterday, not on purpose, but because it was time for me to exercise. And then I realized my blood sugar was high. I realized I had a whole bunch of minimum delivery. And I didn't want to do the insulin to get it on board. I didn't want to do the correction and then plummet during exercise. I also didn't want to suspend, which is what I did the first couple of days. That did work well. But I don't want to suspend after I'm already going high. So I just exercised and let it bring down my blood sugar. So I think that's going to confuse auto. And now I have 2 days in a row where I've begun to really climb, and then I've exercised, but it doesn't know I'm exercising. So all it knows is that it did magic and my blood sugar drops at noon. And I think that come noon tomorrow, it's going to cut off all my insulin, but I don't know. It's the mystery of auto mode. So there were those 2 periods. Interestingly, this morning I did have a reduced rate overnight. It was that pattern that I'm more used to, where I got hit heavy with not enough insulin, not very much insulin, just past midnight for a couple of hours, which meant that my blood sugar began to rise around 2 or 3, which meant that auto began to deliver lots of insulin at midnight. So I began to fall, which meant that auto cut off my insulin between around 3 and 6. Which meant that I was rising when I woke up. So by the time I took the first sip of my coffee, I was already at a 185. Now I understand what that is. Not dawn phenomenon for me. It happens because of that reduced rate, and specifically that window 3 to 6. So I did see that. I did get up. I did 2 boluses for 2 cups of coffee. I poured myself the first one. I'd already done the insulin, and I realized I was out of coffee. So again, not by choice, but I just didn't have the coffee to get the other one. So basically I had 1.1 units on board. Between that and the fact that auto mode is kicking in more insulin for me right now, it started to rise. I thought, okay, here we go. And at a 230, it just turned around and came right back down again. So I would have liked to not have seen a 230, and I could do better. And I understand I did buy that extra insulin with that other cup of coffee, but it came back down again. So that was okay, right? Like that would be okay. That's something I could work with at least. Back in the day when I used to be in auto mode, it would like send me to a 300 and just stay there for hours. So that's a really different thing. Auto mode is really trying to fight back some of these highs. So that's kind of cool. That's it. I was going to tell you guys about my call to Medtronic that I just had. Very good call, but I'm 3 minutes in. It's going to make it an 18-minute video, so I think I'm just going to do the other video and then put it all away. I will say, all in all, good, not a bad day. I'm marking down all my micro boluses, every single one of them. I'm tracking how much I'm getting per hour and everything else, and I think I'm about ready to try an ICR. I was going to do AIT, but somebody tried to convince me that ICR was the way to do it. Medtronic says no, it's not, and that's why I want to do the other video. But there's certainly no harm in changing my ICR setting for my overnight hours, because I'm not doing any insulin then. So if supposedly ICR unlocks bigger micros, then I should get bigger micros in the middle of the night, even if I'm not doing boluses to get those bigger micros. That's the theory. And it's definitely worth a test. And then I'll be back to tell you what they said. Okay, thanks, bye.